In this video, I'm going to show you the new glorious Model I wireless. Now you all know old Techne is not going to sit here bore you rambling about specs. So like I always do, I'm going to slap them up on the screen. But what I'm going to do different here is pop one of these open that I have not used yet. Glorious sent me the white version and then the black version. This black version is not open at all. And what I want to do and why I want to do it this way is, you know, Glorious has had build issues before, which I'll talk about my white version a little later on. But again, I want to do a live unboxing here with you. Again, this thing has not been opened yet, and you can just glance at the specs as we're going through here. So anyways, let's go ahead and pop this open right here. By the way, on the back of the box, you can see it has all the specs right there as well, which we'll talk about that shortly as well. I'll briefly touch on the specs, but I don't like sitting here harping on them. So within this folder here, you have tons of paperwork, all your paperwork right there, and then the sticker, whatever. You don't really need any of that. Over here, you have the mouse. Now, I want to dive right into it and see the quality here. So you got your tape on the bottom of the feet right there. So, of course, make sure you pull those off right. Anyways, as far as the build, very solid on the bottom. I'm not getting any flex right here. When you look at it up here, let me let you get a listen. So as you can see, there is no flex whatsoever, and it's awesome to see. Again, Glorious getting such great build in their products. You got your detachable USB-C, but they do have that proprietary little thing in there in case you use it wired. It just keeps it in there a little bit tighter, but you can use your own USB-C as well. Let's go and pop this open. This is where you are going to get, oh my gosh, my throat hurts so bad. There's your extra buttons, and then you got one of those little iPhone little type of deals right there, which helps you pry these buttons out, because again, they're very hard. They're not just going to pop out on you. That tool you're definitely going to need. And then of course your dongle, then your little adapter. I've been stating this with every single manufacturer, like this has to become standard. Like, start putting the name of the product on the dang dongle. Like, you don't need to put Glorious there. Put Model I W for Model I wireless, or put it somewhere, right? Because you got multiple Glorious products and you got these random dongles. You're misplacing your dongle, putting your dongle in the wrong slot. You know, we got to start labeling our dongles. So why I wanted to do that was, again, while you're looking at the specs, so you don't just sit through a snooze fest, we can go through a raw unboxing. Now, again, I've been testing the white one, and as you saw, the black one was never open, and still getting that even across the one I have been using. I mean, it is rock solid. I don't get any button play or nothing. No rattling, no creaking, no nothing. It is so awesome to see Glorious making solid products now. Now, there are a few specs I do want to talk about, and again, they're right on the back of the box. But anyways, starting off with the weight right there, this is something weird I noticed. We put the white one on, we're getting 74.4, which is less than what Glorious is stating there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the black one and slap it on here, and I'm getting 73 grams. Like, that's just awesome. You're getting a lighter weight when they're showing there, but why? Again, is the coating any different? I got the exact same buttons on the side of both of them. Let me do this before we dive into any more of those specs I want to talk about. Let's go on and pull out the Big Daddy old postal scale here. Let's slap the white one on here. Wait, no, let's go to grams. We are getting 74 grams. Okay, now let's go to the black one, and it is getting 72 grams. So that is very interesting there as far as the weight. It's coming up lighter than what Glorious is stating. And yes, I did take the little tape off the bottom of the black one, but why is one lighter than the other? I don't know. Do I get any of my oils making the white one heavier or something? I don't know. Both of them are still less than that weight. Now, going down to the sensor, absolutely spot on. The switches, not much play at all. Take a look at this. Now you notice it on one, if you press it more on the inside, you can see you got that little bit of bounce there. But take a look at this groove. It comes down and shoots straight right there, preventing any of the excess play if you're on the inside. Now, going down the line as far as specs, the band sensor, the wireless, the Bluetooth, it's absolutely spot on. No lags, no delays, no hiccups, no nothing. It's absolutely flawless. The only time I noticed any kind of lag is when I'm in the Glorious software tweaking something, and I'll get a quick momentary again, lag right there whenever you're saving it. But heck, you notice that in a lot of products. The one thing I want to harp on here, which this right down here, battery life. You see they tout 210 hours up to battery life. I hate when manufacturers do this kind of marketing. You see this a lot in gaming headsets because that 210 hours is just on Bluetooth, whenever you slip it down right down here. But when you come up 2.4, which is most of us are going to use 90% of the time, you come down here and you can see it's 110 hours. So still, tons of battery life. Battery life is not going to be an issue, and you can use it still wired. But again, I hate how they're really kind of flashing 210 hours. They need to make it a little more prominent rather than down here in the fine print. That just irks me. So now I want to talk about the shape of the glorious Model I, and unfortunately, I don't have the Model I wired anymore. I couldn't use that mouse. If you watch my original review of that, I couldn't use it. So as you see on the screen right here, I got the dimensions of the Model I wireless, and then a picture of the Model I wired. It might be a little bit tricky, kind of like one of those Weird Waldo things, but you can see a slight difference in it. And what that is, within the thumb little platform right there. Before it was wider on the back end, now it's wider on the front end. And I think what's happening here, for me at least, is my thumb can sit on this much better and much more naturally. Now this is going to differ from people to people. Again, I've been on crutches, so I've been a little more active than usual, so maybe my thumb is slimming down. But on the wired one, I could not use it because my thumb would sit here and it'll automatically constantly hit all those buttons. Right now, it sits in there like a glove. I don't really got to reach for them too far, but I never once got an accidental press. So again, whatever they did with this little platform down here, very nice, and I think they did a great job. Now, as far as the core shape of the mouse, it's definitely, I don't want to say bigger, it definitely feels natural for me. Medium to large hands, it's not big. I can kind of dance it around right there. I can still pull my hand in and rest it on it. I feel like it's fairly safe if you can get down with this thumb rest, which is not something I usually use on mice. I'll touch more on that as well. But again, I feel like the shape is quite manageable. Now, one thing I want to talk about here, I want to pull out, is the glorious Model I wireless, the glorious Model I2 wireless. Golly, that's confusing. Anyways, if you watched my review on this, I was not very happy with this. I really liked the original Model I. It was just a nice fresh product. It was a FK, a Zowie FK, right? But I feel like this, again, with the kind of grooves they had in 1 and 2 and everything, it just didn't feel as natural. It kind of forced me into certain grips and everything. Gosh, I just feel it right now dancing around with it. I don't like it. So that was kind of my expectation coming into the glorious Model I wireless. I was like, golly, it's going to be another example of the glorious Model 02. Well, unfortunately, or luckily, it's really not. It's more natural. And where you're getting at, go ahead and take a look at 1 and 2. I don't know, that might be upside down for you here. You can still see you got those grooves, but with it sloping down on the side over here, it fits much more natural. They're not as aggressive as you see on the Model O when your hand is coming straight on it here. It just like throws you into this weird grip. And again, I don't even want to touch it, you know? Coming over here to the eye, it's just, they're more subtle. It flows with it, and it's just such a natural feeling in the hand, at least for my hand shape. And like I showed you in that unboxing, you can change out all your buttons. Like if you want this bigger button to kind of come towards the bottom here, or on this big thumb one. And again, as you can see, they are, I don't want to say they're tough, but again, they're in there, they're locked in there really nicely. Bam, you can get that in there, and it scooches that forward a little bit more so your thumb's in there. Again, as far as swapping of buttons and everything, it's pretty similar to pretty much an exact spit image of the original Model I right there. And again, they're locked in really tight. Now, which the heck button went in there? There we go. They stay in there very solid. Now, another nice thing you probably spotted on the Model I wireless are the feet. Again, they got the G skates, and you have them all the way around. I love it. A lot of these mice, sometimes you see with the little thumb rest over here, they'll put the slide over here or the skate over here, and they won't put one over here. I don't understand it, and I hate when they do that. Again, if you got something like this with that little rest there, you got to have the foot on the side, because again, when you're swiping over there, it's going to create all that drag. So then when you come over to the other side, and again, no matter how, if you're pressing this harder, using it on a medium surface, a soft surface, or a glass surface, it has a very nice glide all the way across, and it feels balanced because again, you got these really big feet on the sides helping out with that glide. Now, this is a segment of my review where I usually pull out a bunch of mice and do some comparisons, and I believe I pulled out quite a few in my original Model I video, but in this one, I really don't. I'm going to talk primarily about one comparison. I might pull out another one just to kind of let you jive with me, right? But anyways, as far as my one comparison, I'm going to pull out the Aerox 5. This is the Destiny version here. And why do I pull this out? Because no, the shapes are different. In the hand, they're different. I would say the Aerox 5 is a little more plumper. I definitely feel it in the back of my hand a little bit more. This one, I feel it's more flickable, but mildly. I want you to stick with me right there when I say flickable. And where I go with that, talking flickable, where I struggled with this playing like a little bit of Call of Duty or Insurgency Sandstorm, even Destiny, something like that, with my thumb down here, I felt it slow down. Maybe it's because I'm not used to this, but again, I'm feeling my thumb. I'm constantly repositioning my thumb down there rather than if I come over to something like the Aerox 5. And again, why I pull the Aerox 5 out is because it's got extra buttons on the side. So I'll touch on that while these are my comparisons. But again, on this one, I feel I can bring it down, bam, put it right where I want. Pull it over here, put it right where I want, you know? Because again, I'm used to my thumb being down here, kind of gliding on there. So this thumb rest is something you definitely got to take time to get used to, or maybe if you already use it, you love it. But someone like me that never uses this and it just feels weird for me, it's something I can't jive with. It's not my thing, right? So, okay, sit with me for a second. The other mouse I want to pull out is the Lamzu, the Thorn, one we just covered. Why the heck am I pulling this out? This is a completely different mouse. Well, if you watched my video on that, or heck, anyone else's video, the one thing we all talked about was this hump in the back. It's really weird because it always hits you in the back of the palm. You're trying to flick it over here. Oh man, it's hitting me in the back of the palm a little bit. It's slowing me down. It's just that, would I say annoyance, or that thing that's just constantly there that it's like it shouldn't be there? That's that hump in the back of the Thorn. And I feel that, and it makes me not want to use it. That's the same vibe I get with the Model I with this thumb rest. That's not just the Model I, that's any of them, right? The Razor, whatever you call it. It's just not my thing. The Logitech G502 or whatever it's called. I don't like the thumb rest. But other than that, it does have a natural feel. My thumb's not hitting the buttons, so whatever improvement they did, it is better. Personal preference, I'm not a fan of these thumb rests. Now, the other reason I pulled the Aerox 5 out for the comparison of this, which is just off the wall, right, are the buttons on the side. So I pull this out because whoever's going to be shopping this mouse is not someone that's just like, yo, let me try a new fresh mouse, G Pro Wireless, the Lamzu Thorn, Lamzu Atlantis, so on and so forth, something like that, right? Someone that's buying this mouse, they want the buttons, right? This is what you want. You're shopping this, right? This is geared towards those people. Same with the Aerox 5. But why I pull this out, again, talking about with that ledge down there, for me, it was just kind of like, I just didn't want to use it, right? Just going along with the Thorn, not to repeat myself. Coming over to the Aerox 5, I can really get down with this because I can use it multiple ways. I can FPS with it, right? I can work with it. I can Diablo 5 with it where I got my extra buttons. It feels a little bit more universal and a little bit safer when this is, even though you got the buttons, which is geared towards this one customer, the ledge is also geared towards one customer. That's just my opinion. And again, that's not a fault on the product here because the product's solid. It performed well. It's built incredibly great. It's, again, just a ledge, and that goes right along with Logitech, Corsair, and Razer mice. I'm not a fan of the ledge. Now, right in line with that, the glorious Model I is coming in at $100, which I don't think that's too much. I think that's a fair price, especially for what it's packing. Bluetooth, great build, very long battery life, a fantastic warranty. I think it's justifying the price. But again, at $100, which isn't too expensive for a mouse these days, it's what we see. But I do feel like there's a lot of comparison out there. Again, why I stated maybe you should check out the Aerox 5. You can find those for $100 as well, you know? So again, I really think my opinion of this mouse is my opinion. This is definitely a personal preference product. And heck, me saying I like it or don't like it can mean nothing here, because this is a mouse that if you're looking at it, you know you like it. My opinion means nothing. But there we go. The glorious Model I wireless. I think it's a fantastic mouse, but I'll never touch it again after this video. It's just not a product for me. So anyways, thank you so much for coming by and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help you out. If I was, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye now.